Does Noah finally have a new love interest? I don't know. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey.
Hey now.
Okay, so I feel like we just have to like put on a show for
Okay,
this.
it's time to... Listen,
I don't know why they
I'm
have
giving
me
you
here
all
with
the
you.
sugar because I'm back.
I don't know why they have me here with you.
Listen, putting the two of us together is black girl magic.
It's terrible. Welcome back to episode 5 of Queen Sugar. Clearly we hyped up on some kind of sugar or something when really we're not. You would have thought we would have had coffee or something.
I'm on some sugar.
Right.
I'm on some queen sugar.
I'm your host, Elayna. You can follow me on all social platforms at hey_it's_lay.
What's going on, mi gente? Franceli Chapman is back. Hang out with me at all things at Selly Hang Out.
English and Ryan are out. Clearly they like to leave me hanging. Poor me, right?
But I'm here. Hello.
You are here. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
Hey, welcome back.
I missed y'all so much.
I'm super excited, except Franceli's so far, so I can't see everything that you guys are saying, because usually I'm like peeking over
at the live chat. So put up the live chat. Come on.
But this episode,
I got you.
This episode was this was a feel-good episode for me.
If you could sum up this episode in one word, what would it be?
Feel good. Feel-good. One word.
For me, it would be magic.
You think it was magic?
I feel magic.
What made it magic?
There were a lot of magic moments. As we go into it, I'll tell you, boom, magic. Boom, magic.
I got the magic stick. No,
I think Hollywood has the magic stick. Not literally in that way, but in the sense. Okay, that came out wrong. Look. Okay, what I'm trying to say is, Hollywood, for me, I feel like every woman needs a Hollywood in their life.
Yeah.
Because he's magic. Like his support, his love for her, how he pushes her towards her dreams and her purpose. That's magic for me, and I loved every moment of it. Yeah, and there are other magic moments, but yeah, it was magic.
No, since we're on Hollywood and on Vi, I think the fact that she went out and she tried to sell her pies and was pretty bummed. We all get no's, right? We all want to do things or try to do things, and we get a lot of no's or a lot of shut doors. But the fact that he wouldn't allow her to lay in bed and feel sorry for herself, it was just like, okay, you had a bad day, so what? Get up. And that quality in him was really like, yes. I do feel like everyone needs that. Like get out of stop
playing.
Being a baby.
He speaks to her true self, her true potential, instead of where she is right now. And you do need to have people around you that speak to the highest level of yourself.
Yeah.
Because we don't always feel the highest level of ourselves, and you need those people that remind you where you are right now isn't who you really are. This is who you really are, and so let's get to it.
Since you know what, so you just said that, and I know that you were talking about Hollywood and Vi, but when you said that, I automatically thought about Nova. Because I feel like she's never, at least on the show, I don't know her life. Right. You know, she's a fictional character. Anyway, but what we've received from her and like her love interest, she's never had anyone challenge her and kind of see her for who she is. And that's what Dr. Dubois is.
Ooh, come on, Dr. Dubois. Praise the Lord for Dr. Dubois.
Y'all, when we were watching this show...
That's another magic. Ding, magic. Dr. Dubois is magic.
This girl over here, Franceli,
yes, that's me,
was watching the show, and she was like, yeah!
Snapping my fingers. I was all for it. Let me tell you something. Dr. Dubois, number one, just popping up. And then popping up, not just, oh, I'm in town, like I'm gonna come and use my hands and help out and be part of the community and pop up on you and have triple double lives on you. Like,
that was pretty sexy. Like when
Nova was hot and bothered. She didn't know what to do.
It was the hands thing. Okay, I don't know if sexy, I don't know, it was attractive. When he did the hands thing, and then, you know, he runs into Davis runs into him. And sometimes you see like this kind of cock battle. Like, because I felt like if Dr. Dubois would never have said anything, Davis would have made it like a who are you? Oh, you're a doctor. Okay, I'm Davis West.
Right.
But Dr. Dubois brought it down so easily, and the fact that he lived a life where he's been exposed to a lot, and he's still so successful, and he's still so intelligent, and he's still
and
just
so like good dog chocolate. Yeah, all of that.
Yeah, he's kind of it.
Yeah, he's it. He's magic. That's what I'm saying. Another magic moment. I'm gonna call. Look, I'm telling you, this episode was magic.
How do you feel about Nova leaving on their dessert date?
Well, I felt conflicted. I understood the real thing is, listen, family over everything. I'm that girl. Like, I'm the girl who's gonna go be Captain Save-A-Ho and like go be there for everybody, right?
Why you gotta save a whore? Like, I'm confused.
It's an expression.
What show were you watching?
But like, I'd run to my sister too. No matter how great this date could have been, my sister comes first. But at the same, so a part of me was like, oh, Nova, you playing games. It's what one part of my, like, the person on this shoulder was like, she playing games. And then the person on this shoulder was like, but she's a ride or die for her sister. So I understood, but I'm just glad that in the end she did what she did. Had she walked out on the date and left it at that, I would have been really disappointed in her. But she went to go take care of her sister, and then she came back with the 2 coffees, and I said, that's how you do it.
I think
you
clapping.
You weren't feeling her on the coffees?
No. Well, yeah, kind of. But I'm saying, going back to the dessert date, I think that Charley was an escape route that happened at the right time.
Right.
Like, I don't even feel like she was...
Oh, for sure. We know that.
Yeah,
Hashtag facts.
She wasn't leaving for her sister. Her sister kind of saved her from that moment. But in that moment, I didn't see her, like, running from him. I saw her running from what she was scared to face.
Right. She's running from herself. We all do that. That's the subtext in that, for sure.
You run from yourself? Because
Look.
I mean, I feel like that would look like a dog chasing his tail.
And dogs do it. I feel like all humanity, we've all been there, where it's like we finally, I don't think it's ever been a question that she likes him back too. I think she has her guard up and she has walls, and she's a particular kind of human being, but I never questioned that she liked him back.
Yeah.
I just think you're right. Her sister was the perfect scapegoat, but at the same time, it was all there, and she didn't know how to handle it in that moment.
I think she was protecting him too, though, because we know Nova as this person who likes to hit it and quit it. Like,
right, she's like, you're too good for me. I'm probably gonna ruin you.
Yeah,
let me stop this right here. People do that all the time.
Even when she brought him the coffee, and you see this chemistry between them so loud, and they're both like almost holding themselves back, like trying to force gravity, because I feel like in her mind, if she goes in too soon, or if she actually exposes him to a certain side of her, then it may go bad too fast. Mm-hmm. Is that the people in the chat room?
Yes, the people in the chat room are here.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Mr. Boyd, who's in the building, and Trini Boy 27, who's laughing at my Captain Save-A-Ho. But, you know, it's fine.
Where do we find you?
I don't know where we found me. Trinity Boy says the actor who plays Dr. Dubois kind of looks like Joe, or that guy from Save the Last Dance.
Oh, he does.
He does.
No, he really does. Every time I look at him, I have to like do something funny with my eyes to see him clearly. He looks like a more plump version of him, though.
Yes, mature.
Oh, sure. That's a great way. That was a great way to put it.
A mature version.
Anyway, so we see Nova finally giving in to her interest in Dr. Dubois,
which I love.
Which I absolutely adore, because I think that he's going to help her grow. He's going to bring out a part of her character that I don't think that we were expecting or we were ready for.
No, I wasn't ready with the coffees. I didn't see that coming. I didn't think she was going to do that. I really thought she was going to just let him leave.
Yeah.
So I really appreciated that she came back to him and she was like, look, you know, I'm feeling you too. And it was hilarious for him to say, was it that hard? Because I'm sure it really was hard for her.
It was real, though. And that's why this is so good. Because you have somebody that you're interested in, and then you kind of don't want them to know that you're interested, so then you play the hard game.
Right.
So the fact that he saw her and was like, it was that hard for you, wasn't it?
I'm trying to tell people.
Yeah, it's hard.
Listen, it's difficult to be vulnerable in a society where you feel like you're constantly being kind of beaten down, you know, like in the community she's in. Listen, she's double minority, you know, she's black and she's a woman. There's just a lot going on in her community. Like, it was so real, her whole conversation about the bus tours, and that's real. That's really happening down in New Orleans right now. And so it's one of those things where it's like, I'm just tired of being beaten up. And that's why she's so guarded. I don't blame her. And a lot of, unfortunately, black women feel that way. A lot of black women are guarded, you know, and there's this whole, what I love about Queen Sugar is it has the conversations that so many people have in their private homes. Yeah. The conversations of masculinity, what it means to be a man, a black man, what it means to be a woman, a black woman. And they're having these conversations because it's true. Like, that's why interracial dating sometimes is complicated, and people say really ignorant things about why they don't date black women, which make me really hot. And these are one of those topics because, oh, black women are angry and black women are jaded and black women are guarded. Yes, and let's talk about those things. Why? And can we have more Hollywoods in the world? Yeah. And maybe black women will soften up, more Dr. Du Bois, you know? I think it's a perfect example of when you bring the right combination together, there'll be some softness that happens.
You know what's interesting? And we'll probably like dibble away and then come back to it. But I feel like black women don't necessarily need more Hollywoods or more Dr. Du Bois. Yes, it's necessary, but I think that a lot of us tend to have like mommy and daddy issues, and everyone is trying to be like the perfect parent, and we see that with Charley and Micah. Oh, so but before we get into that, I want to talk about one last love interest that I was not here for. I just wasn't interested in it at all. I think Franceli actually threw up in her mouth when this point happened. When, at least you told me that. When Davis was trying to,
oh my God! Wait, let's go to my notes. I clearly wrote in my notes.
When Davis was trying.
Oh God! I'm so over Davis. I am throwing up. All caps, exclamations, exclamations. Yep, I wrote that down.
You said that out loud several times too.
Because that's how I was feeling. Sir, get off your soapbox. I'm not feeling you with the whole giving the googly eyes to the pop star. Come on, bruh. Have a seat.
Davis is...
I can't. I just can't.
Davis is an interesting... Like... Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I have that feeling. I have that feeling.
You know why I have that reaction for Davis? Because he has these moments that seem very genuine and very sincere, and then he has other moments that are very TV. Like, I really just don't know who he is, and I don't think that he knows either. But the way that that's reading off the screen is very uncomfortable. Like, instead of capitalizing off that moment when they were at the Humans for Humanity, I think that was the name of it, when they were building homes, instead of capitalizing on that moment for him and Micah, he decided to have googly eyes for someone that I don't know if he thinks she's gonna be a good housemate. I don't know. And then he started talking as if he had some interest. The reporter clearly said, "Do you want to talk about your work here?"
And he made it about her, and that, and the ego, the male ego was all in it. But this is the thing. Does Davis really know how to be by himself? You know, like, he's been
kept. He's been boy.
Yeah, he's been kept for a really long time. And that's the thing. After you've been in a relationship or a marriage for a really long time, that after, like, what happens? What are people saying in the chat?
Chris Brown said Davis was so thirsty.
He was thirsty.
I don't know why that made me laugh.
He was thirsty.
He was being a thirst bucket, and I couldn't handle it. It was disgusting, and I'm really happy that all of you are like relating with that, because sometimes I feel like we are too hard on Davis, but he's a douche.
No, for real. Yeah,
you're right. I don't know if he knows how to be single, or how to be by himself, because Charley did everything.
This is the thing, and you touched on it a little bit about everyone. I truly do believe in that statement that the root of most people's brokenness comes from our parents. Yeah. You know, and we're all, you know, our childhood traumas and our perspectives and all of that, because although he is a douche, he brought it up a few episodes ago about, like, come on, like, I didn't have the example, my father wasn't around. Not that
is an excuse or validates anything,
because it's like there's two ways to go with any of us that have dealt with anything. It's either we're not going to be a product of our environment, or we are. Right. We make that choice, and you've made a choice to kind of let the generational curse continue of the black man who's kind of like he's either absent, like the black man, quote unquote, is either absent. Obviously, guys, this is not everybody, but the stereotype of the black man's either absent or he's there, but he's not there. Like he gets to do whatever he wants as long as he's, well, he's there. Like, at least he didn't leave us, and at least he's paying the bills, so we need to let him do whatever he wants and not question it. Yeah. And it's a very unfortunate thing, and I'm not here for it, Davis. Like, I'm not here for you. Have several seats. Sit down. Be humble. Yeah, and that's literally what I was going to say. I don't think that he's humble. And even Ms. Chris Brown says Davis uses his platform for all the wrong reasons, and I agree. Every time there's a camera or a spotlight or a microphone, he tries to use this as his moment, and it's to the point where it's disgusting. Like, you're not even like at this point you're just nasty. But I thought that the fact that the show brought up therapy and counseling, yes, was a really good aspect, because especially in the black community, because although I feel the way that I feel with Davis, I thought that even though Micah skipped out on his mom's therapy session, I feel like the 3-point game with his dad was very therapeutic for him. Yes. Like, and I thought that was a very grown man step for Davis to take as a father. And the fact that he was honest with it, and I don't know if it was just because it was him and Micah, but the fact that he answered Micah's question honestly. And it was real honest. Yeah. I felt like that was the first real honest answer I've gotten from Davis in 2 seasons. Like, no, like, for real. Is it just me, y'all? Like, I felt the sincerity. Like you said, you never really know with Davis, but in that moment with his son, it was just really real. And even his reaction to the question, like, no, I'm not a sex addict. But, like, I mean, Micah came out the work, like, for the jugular. He was like, he didn't even say, you know, did you really mean to cheat on mom? Are you a sex addict? Like, what's going on? Because I know moms was throwing it. I wasn't drinking anything, but I, like, spit out my water at that point, because Micah came with it. Oh, he came. But Davis stepped up and honestly answered. And when he was saying that, I think that something's wrong with me. Right. Like, which is what he shows, these sides of him where it's like, okay, I know that I'm not perfect, and I know that I can do better and I can be better. But then he turns around and doesn't do better. And does the opposite sometimes. You know, nah, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. I'm not going there, people. But what do we know? I think we want to know. We want to know. No. We want to know. That's all right. We want to know. We want to know. That was magic. Remember I said I was gonna talk about the magic moment? So father-son, like, the father-son version of love in basketball was magic. We want to know. That's all I want to say. And then, but I also thought it was magic how Micah didn't end up in the therapy session, because it was so clear how much Charley did not want to do therapy. Yeah. And didn't want to make it about her, but how important therapy really is for her. Like, Charley has so much deep-rooted brokenness with, you know, her father and her mom and even her siblings, and a lot of things she hasn't dealt with, a lot of things she clearly still has resentment about. And it's important because it's true. It's affecting what kind of parent she is today. You know, it was a tearjerker for me. It's Charley sitting through those questions with the therapist was very necessary for her growth, and she finally was able to see herself in another light, because now you have to answer these questions that you don't have the answer to, or that answer isn't what you thought it would have been, right? But from all of that, she finally asked Micah to just hang out. Do you want to go to the movies with me? And I remember it was an episode that we did, and they were driving in the car, and she was trying to talk about his incident of him getting pulled over. And I came on the after show and I said, I wish she would have used that moment to say, let's ditch work, let's ditch school, let's go hang out. Let's go hang out. And she didn't. So the fact that she's finally in a place where she's like, 'cause sometimes what we really want is just to have a good time and hang out with our siblings, and or with our parents and with our family. Happening. We want to forget, and we want to enjoy each other. Right. Because a lot of us are funny and good people, but we clash so much that we don't get to see that, or we have big differences, or you may be a Republican and I may be a Democrat, like whatever the case may be, that keeps us from bonding, when in fact if we just put it to the side and be there for one another, we can actually enjoy our company. You know what I mean? So that moment was very powerful for me. question for you, because T. Paris in the chat brought up a good point. He said, I think Davis' celebrity puts him in these situations where he may not want to be in. He had to smile for the cameras.
Yeah, I kind of saw that, and I not so much agree, because yes, he's a celebrity, and yes, the cameras are going to be there, and you want to be nice. You know, you want to.
Yeah, you're not just going to brush off the cameras.
You want to put off a good image. However, I think that he can keep up his celebrity and be polite, but also be genuine.
Be authentic.
He can be more genuine, and he can use those moments. Like, we see a lot of celebrities who aren't rude or disgusting, but you know, they're real. And it's like, hey guys, as much as I want to talk to you, I'm really not here for me. My son is the one, so maybe he should talk. Like, that should have been a moment. It was like, okay, son, here's your spotlight.
Right.
Like, you can be a celebrity, you can smile, you can say, oh my gosh, hi, sign autographs, and it's like, okay, but you don't have to take all the shine, because that moment wasn't about you.
Yeah.
And you just wanted to be seen by the girl with the curly hair.
Hey.
Right.
Bree Stafford says she wants to know. Girl, okay.
What she want to know?
She want to know what I wanted to talk about, but I said I was going to get off my soapbox. I will say this, though. I think for a lot of black women, because some of the men in the chat will, I think, are like, man, everybody's so hard on Davis. I think for black women, or women of color in general who watch this show, and I'm not speaking for everyone, but for myself, we see it, and we see the relationships we've been in sometimes. Like, we see the guy that we've been through the trenches for, we've held it down, we've been the ride or die, pushed you towards your dreams, been the manager, the psychiatrist, been everything, the babysitter, the nurse, and you know you should do better. Like, you talk to me about it. You say how you know you've done wrong and how I'm the best thing that's ever happened to you, yet time and time again, you still choose to not do better. And it's frustrating, and it's almost insulting and disrespecting. But then we have to look in the mirror and say, where do we not respect ourselves enough to walk away? And so I think that's why we're angry. I think that's why I'm angry. And that's all I'm giving y'all today. I'm getting off my soapbox.
Did you not want to say that because of like the anger that you may think of in your own situations?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I know. When I first started watching Queen Sugar season 1, I was going through like a really tough. See, I'm scratching my head. The body language is talking. I started going, like, I was going through a really tough patch in the situation that I was in at the time with this man I was dating, and there was just so much about this show that resonated with it, and I was going through all these emotions, and even now in season 2, still like the ashes of that are still rising for me sometimes, and that's just real. Yeah, I mean, and I feel like even if it's not someone that we've been with, we look at our brothers, and we look at our friend guys, and we look at a lot of different people, and we can kind of see it. Like, Davis isn't by himself in his actions sometimes, but the important part about his character is that they do give him moments where you're like, oh, that was good, Davis, and then you're like, oh, I can't stand you. So they kind of, like, he's the villain, but he's not completely the villain all the time, which I think is really awesome. And it's unfair to point out that I remember the first episode, the first 2 episodes, but the first after show for this show, everyone was like so against Charley, and I was like, give her a chance. She's gonna, you know, she's hurt and she's broken. And through this therapy session, we see the more softer side of her. Like, when she called Nova, that was a step. And that was a step that made me smile, because Nova understood. Right. It was and like, she apologized. Yeah. I think there were a lot of magic moments where, you know, Charley, because all the little hidden jokes about her messing up her pedicure and her being a bougie, bitch, and like all this stuff about kind of, like, even her argument, was it last week? Or was it this?
Her argument with whom?
With Remy about this apartment. And, you know, like, you sure you want to live there? And like, it's all this money. And even the way her brother judges her about you not knowing this side of the coin. It's you and Davis's fault Mike is so soft. Right. Because he's privileged, and we talked about that. But it's like, nah, you're not just going to run me off my own house, you know? And then that's when the sister's like, Nova's like, oh, you're not a bougie, bitch.
Right. But that therapy session was a mirror for her. Oh, you know how like sometimes we gotta like stare in the mirror.
You gotta look in the mirror. Listen, that's the only thing that's in your way. Yeah. The only thing that's in your way is you. The scariest thing is you. the worst critic is you. The mirror is a scary place to stand.
And I think that's what humbled Charley, because she wanted to talk about it and she wanted to say it, and she didn't know how. She didn't know what to say because she hasn't been in this vulnerable situation before. And then her sister came over, and I don't know if any one of y'all have the answers to this. What is it that Nova practices? Like, is it something with like sage? Like she goes around the house with her candles and stuff? Is she practicing like something in particular? Like, I know she's clearing the house of spirits, right? Like negativity, she's bringing what is that called? What is she doing? Do you know? I don't remember like the exact, but Elayna, yes, she practices it as well. It's like but there's different levels of it. It's a certain culture that, you know, was brought from Africa. Somebody in the chat, please tell me the name of it, because it's in the tip. It's in the tip of my tongue. I know it starts with an R, but yeah, some people continue to like of course in NOLA, there's still those roots. I was gonna say, because I'm learning a lot about New Orleans. Like, I didn't know that there were tour buses going through certain areas and neighborhoods, and that was heartbreaking. Yes. And then they showed the sign of the people in the community just saying, stop coming to see, like, stop. All of it was just, we're not an attraction. All of it was very heartbreaking. So I don't know if that's something that's very big in New Orleans. Like, you know, I've never personally been around it, but I'm curious to know, because Nova seems to, you know, she blessed the babies in that way. And she's kind of the go-to for everything with that. And I kind of want to move on a little bit, but before I do, did you happen to see that side eye that Davis gave Micah when he was like, we're building houses for our people? Yes. And when Micah said, I saw that side eye, that was the shade of it all. I just needed to get that out, because at that moment, Davis needed to be smelled. Why are you side-eyeing him for his people? He is black. Micah's a black man. Right. Anyway. But then later, he brings it up in the basketball court saying, you know, fear is a rite of passage for us. So now, yeah, us, like the black men. So yeah, it was weird that he did that, because then he did that. So I don't know. Yeah, he's a special person. Yeah, Davis is confused and complicated. I mean, it's confusing and complicated, and I think that's why I feel it's so important to have the black athlete depicted in this way, because it is confusing to grow up a particular way. Like, maybe he grew up poor and didn't have, like, what Ralph Angel talks about, that was his growing up, and then he gets thrusted into fame and money, and people just giving him whatever he wants and not having the tools or the skills on how to manage that. Yeah. So we talked about how sometimes bad parenting can kind of mess you up. And I'm curious to know if everyone that's like in the chat or everyone watching the show, if you receive the way that Ralph Angel is parenting Blue in the positive light that it was shown in, because I think that it was important for us to see the dynamic with his Kenya doll being thrown away and everything with that, because I don't think that we see enough of it on TV. And there are some people who are struggling with certain identities or just being true to who they are. And a lot of it is because people around him don't know how to accept them. So I'm curious, how did you feel about the situation when I guess Ralph Angel finally like admitted to his officer friend that, you know, he's not sure about Blue? This was another magic moment. It was very magical. It was super like black boy joy magic. For me, Tone and Ralph Angel was the true example of what real love looks like. You know, like, God is love, and no matter what your opinions are, we just gotta love on people. You know, that's like our job in this world. The world just needs more love. And I think that, but then the mirror was flashed the other way when Tone reminds him, you just gotta love Darla too, because people are just doing the best with what they have. Yeah. And that was beautiful, because it was like, Ralph Angel is so hard in protecting Tone growing up, and now is so hard in protecting his son, but doesn't have that same kind of grace and mercy towards Darla, which I felt was so beautiful that Tone brought that back. Like, we all just need to have a little more grace and a little more mercy. So who's saying what? What's happening? No, I'm just getting information from JT about the practices of Nova. Yes, yes. Oh, Sean? Yeah, so that's interesting. He says apparently an African religion from Nigeria, but this is he's not sure. But I mean, yeah, that's enough to go off of and kind of figure out. You know what took a spin for me? You know when Darla threw out the doll and when she was talking to Blue in the tub, I thought that she may have thought that Blue sees himself as the Kenya doll. And that's why she was like, what do you, when she was like, what do you see when you look at Kenya? I thought she was fishing for him to say, she looks like me. And I thought she threw the doll away because she didn't want him to have attachments to a girl doll. Like almost, no, but that's how it was almost portrayed.
I always thought it could have been either or.
Yeah.
That, you know, he's playing with this doll because, you know, there's identity issues, yeah, or the fact that he's replacing this doll with his mother and the attachment of not having his mom in the doll. So I felt that was so beautiful that they used that storyline to then now exemplify Darla's insecurities as an addict, because that's something too. And I read a tweet which I loved, and I have to repeat it. I really appreciate Queen Sugar for depicting Darla actively working through her recovery.
Yeah,
I do as well, because what people don't understand is when you're going through recovery, there's so many different layers of what happens with blame and shame, and how she literally blamed this doll for not being a good enough mother. You know, and that's real, to the point that she needed to throw it away, and not really understanding the expense of how that would like be a detriment to her child. But this is where the mind of an addict goes, and I think it's beautiful that was shown. But yeah, she was like, don't have an attachment to this doll because I'm here, I'm your mother. You don't need to like this doll more than you like me. I felt that from the beginning of that tub conversation.
Yeah, I'm
You're reading
the chat because I think that we're all connecting over the same reason. To know that side of Ralph Angel this episode was really beautiful.
He is so
to know that he had a buddy who was battling whatever he was battling with, and he was still like, yeah, you was my homie, like you cool. Like to see the respect that they had for each other, to see the love that they had for each other, for them to be so honest and open about it, and them to be able to offer each other's perspective, that was very big.
Right.
Like that was very emotional. It was very progressive. It was very needed, because I think that so many times we see the opposite, especially with shows. We see there's somebody has to be mad, somebody has to be hating, somebody gotta be like, that's not cool.
Right.
But the fact that it was like, yeah, like you was my home, like you good. Like,
well, Miss Chris Brown says she's confused. Was the cop gay or transgender? She didn't understand that part. From what I'm understanding, and even Ava DuVernay tweeted about it. She said, oh, do I have it up here? Yes, Ralph Angel protected his transgender friend. Important dialogue. Queen Sugar did it again.
Whoa, so, I missed that.
So yes, so what it is that the cop was born a woman and became a man, because if you hear the dialogue
about the girl that he was with in a closet.
Yeah, but no, even before that, when he's describing how he was bullied, they were like, why your voice so deep? Let me remind you that you're a girl. So you didn't catch it right then and there, but if you kept following,
he definitely did say that.
You kept following, he's like, man, when I saw you get booked at the prison and I'm over there with all the officers, I was afraid you were gonna out me right there, that he's really a woman.
I thought that he was talking about him being bullied, and then I thought he was talking about him being the bully to other people. But no, it's very clear.
Yes.
Wow, so that was great.
Yeah, so he's a woman. Well, he's a he now, but he was born a woman.
He was born female.
Yes. And that's what this whole dialogue was about.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why I was like, magic. I mean, it's beautiful. And that's why he was
that's deep,
and then
y'all.
And that's why, like, Ralph Angel was saying, I don't know what's happening with my son, but I just want to love him and let him be whatever or whoever he wants to be. But you know what?
That's why I thought that when Blue carried Kenya around, he thought that maybe he saw himself in Kenya. That's why I had that idea. But the cop that was beautiful. Jeez Louise.
Yes, girl. Magic.
Okay.
Magic, magic.
Woo. And can we talk about, just wrapping it all up, because I mean,
now she don't know what to do.
Now I'm at a loss.
She's like, now I'm stuck.
No. I kind of want to just get into your opinion on why do you think that Ralph Angel responded the way that he did when he found out that Darla may be working for his sister. I have my own idea about what it is, but I'm curious to know what your opinion, or even what are you guys'
my notes. Ralph Angel's face when he finds out Darla is working for Charley, you could see the fire burning on the inside.
Is that your note?
That's my note.
Why are you, girl?
I'm being funny right now. Y'all didn't like my narrator voice? Okay, that's fine. But no, like he was like, oh my God, the beard was twitching. Like it was a whole other level. But I think it's because there's this boiling simmer that's happening. This letter, his pride, like Aunt Vi said, you better be ready to cash this check. And I think he's had this check that he's been itching to cash. And so he figures if he does play his trump card, he plays his final spade, that at least he has Blue and Darla. But now,
if he plays it, Darla ain't gonna have no job.
That complicates things. And so I think that's where that comes from.
I thought that was goody for him.
Yeah.
I mean, in his mind, though,
he feels like he's doing the right thing, but honestly, unity, and like Charley said, no matter what you think of me, I'll always have your back. And that's real.
But he also might try to play this power role when it comes to Darla. And we already see glimpses of it. So he might still pull out the letter and, you know, take everything, whatever, and Darla may lose her job. However, in his mind, it's like, yeah, but I got all this land. I got the farm. Like, everything is mine. I got you.
Girl, you definitely watched the preview for next week. That's
I did.
Right.
Did you watch it?
I did.
Why?
Because I like to see what's going to happen next week.
I don't like to do that.
Yes, Kofi's beard. Yes, Lord, Father God.
When I thought I couldn't love Raw anymore.
Yes, Bree. No. Kofi's beard is everything. Yes.
Now that I got my thoughts together a little bit about that deep scene, I'm curious. I made a note that Ralph Angel he goes to another level when it comes to anything with Blue.
Yes.
Like, he could have popped Darla's neck off when he found out that she threw the doll away.
Oh, yeah.
And even when Micah, you know, reflected on Blue, like, Ralph Angel becomes a different person. Now that this has been exposed, that, you know, he doesn't know what Blue's journey is gonna be, like where Blue stands, what Blue may feel, what he may think, do you think that he gets very aggressive and he's so protective because he's already had a background with protecting someone like that? Do you think that's why he switches in that aspect when it comes to Blue and becomes so protective?
I think it's multi-layered. I think there's protectiveness off break just because that's my son, no matter what. Like, I think there's this instinct as a parent to be very protective of your children. Not that I know, I don't have kids, but I'm protective of my nieces and nephews, and I didn't birth them. There's just this sense to protect family, kin. But then the deeper level is there's something that happens when you're on the inside of 4 walls for 4 years. Not that I have any experience of that either, but I have brothers who have been in the system as well. So it's one of those things where when they talk to me about that experience and that sense of feeling helpless, I think that there are moments in Ralph Angel's past and then now present where he has been able to do something about that. And even Micah talks about that. Like, when Micah described the cops, he's like, I've never felt that way in my life, where I felt so like not in control. And when you're in prison, you have no control, not even when you're gonna go to sleep, when you get to eat. People put their like, the amount of abuse that happens in our prison system is ridiculous, and they get away with it. And so we don't even know, we haven't even talked about that part of Ralph Angel. Like, we don't know what kind of traumas he went through there. So I think that kicks in too. And when he talked about that with Micah, where he's like, in there are certain things that happen, and in here I have to remind myself that I'm human. Yeah. Because they treat you like animals, so they bring the animal out of you. So I think the animal even came out of him almost with Darla. Like, when he found out he was gonna snap her neck. I mean, when the fist hit the hand, I was like, oh, is he gonna hit her? Wait, Lord, oh my God. It was real. Like, it's in him.
Yeah, I agree with both T. Paris and Miss Chris Brown at the moment.
What they say.
T. Paris is saying that Ralph Angel just want to spill the beans, but this is going to complicate a lot with the family.
Oh,
and
of course.
Absolutely. And then Miss Chris Brown says that I think Ralph Angel thinks his conflict with his sister might come between his relationship with Dollar. And that,
of course,
that is
we know that's coming.
Now you're inserted into my family. So now I have to think like, and we already don't get along well. But I'm curious, what did you see in the preview, girl? Tell me what you saw. Let's move into some predictions.
Predictions already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV.
I feel like an alien every time this happens. You stressed.
I'm stressed out. Well, shout outs to Davida Scarlett, who wrote this episode. I just like to always shout out the writers because they're magic.
Amazing.
Yeah, they're awesome. Oh my God. Oh, wait. Put a pin in it. I do want to say that
that's a pin.
I wasn't here last week, but the week before that, I had predicted about Hollywood, and I was right because it happened in the episode. What I predicted. Yeah.
A little bit. Not
how I said he was going to get restless about not having a job. And okay, anywho, so my predictions are pretty on point. So, with that being said, what's going to happen? I definitely do agree that I think that this whole Darla and Charlie thing's about to get complicated. But the thing that's scaring me the most is Ralph Angel.
In what way?
In everything, because I feel like the Landrys, all this stuff that keeps happening with these cops, I know it's the Landrys. You know, like that whole them just showing up at the house saying he violated parole and there's a gun in the house. Like, come on.
Yeah, we kind of talked about how we knew that they set that up.
So what's really scaring me about this season is that something is gonna go down with the cops in some kind of way. I'm not sure yet, but it's like
they keep haunting us.
They keep haunting
it. They
me.
do.
Cops are already, not all of them, but cops can be corrupt, and in a small town like this with that amount of money and influence, they can be bought. Mm-hmm. That's just the reality of the situation. We see a farmer's already been bought, so who's to say a cop can't? So I'm just, for me, that's coming.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid for Ralph Angel. Seriously petrified.
That's back-to-back episodes where he's almost had like these run-ins with the cops because we didn't know that he was gonna know
that cop.
Yeah, and
Lord.
we knew he was going down.
He's like, if it wasn't for you, I'd be in processing right now.
I thought that he was just gonna try to come out and take it out on Darla. You got me in the damn dumpster because you threw away the Kenya doll, and now I'm getting booked because of you. Just because you wanted to be selfish. I'm so tired of you, Darla.
That was great. That was awesome.
Thanks,
yeah.
Thanks.
All right, girl. Maybe you can be an actor. Let's do this.
I don't know what's gonna wait. I don't know why Cameron just made me laugh. Scratch that. Ralph Angel is gonna have to make a decision. The fact that I read scratch that, I just knew something was gonna make me laugh about that. My prediction for next episode is it's been too good, y'all. Like the family has had their run-ins, their little run-ins, but it's nothing compared to last season where they were ready to kill each other. Mm-hmm. So I'm a little nervous about them breaking up. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be at the cost of the farm being out there. But I'm going to be hopeful and say that, yes, Ralph Angel's going to say, Dad left me the farm.
Right.
But he's going to split it. He's going to be like, but let's go into contract.
Right.
And
he left me the farm, but this is still a family thing.
Yeah.
Because, okay, that's the part you didn't see in the previews.
I told you to tell me.
Okay, so what happened was they're at dinner. And he's like, I haven't been truthful with y'all.
Ooh.
And so he comes out and tells the truth. So he
tells them you that was in the preview?
He doesn't actually say it, but we know that's what he's gonna do, right? But this is the thing. He doesn't come out, from what it looked like, he's not coming out and saying it in a spiteful way.
Yeah.
He's coming out like, okay, I can't let this monkey or elephant continue to like be in the midst. I'm just gonna come out and say it.
It's because Darla got that job.
So he felt like he had to say it.
Because this is his family. He says he sees a future with this girl.
Right.
And now you got to protect her. You can't let her lose her job because, come on. Okay, can I get my prediction out?
All right, go ahead, girl.
The reality of it is I don't have a prediction.
Oh, Lord. There we have it. All right.
I mean, no, I feel like the guys that they've been having troubles with is it the Landrys or the Bourgeois? The Boudoirs.
The Landrys.
Oh, okay. I feel like they're gonna come back. They've been too quiet. Like we had one run in the last episode, and we had nothing from them today. So I think that next episode is gonna be something big, something that we can, something that's gonna make us all want to like lace up our boots, put on some Vaseline on our face, and go beat them up. Find them wherever they at.
Right.
That's my prediction. Hey, Lauren, welcome.
Bree said, I want to know if Hollywood fixed the diner's AC.
No, I'm curious.
That's hilarious. That's so funny. I can't with y'all.
He be down for this girl. He be down for her, okay?
Listen, there are things that just make me feel so happy on the inside. A man who pushes you towards your dreams and your purpose. A man who wants to be Mr. Fixer-Upper. And a man who says, God, you're beautiful. When Dr. Dubois says, God, you're beautiful, my whole, something just happened to my whole face. Like,
you said it's that easy?
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay,
that's not what girl, oh yes, snort away, people. Elayna is a snorter. I just want to put a disclaimer out there. She snorts when she laughs.
Only when I'm laughing really hard. Oh my goodness, that made me laugh so bad.
But no, it's not that easy. It just, there's something about a man who, it's not like, oh damn, you beautiful. Like, no, like genuinely looks you in the face and sees all of you, like sees you, the beauty of you, not just your outside, but he sees her. He sees Nova. He like read her articles and it's all up in her tea. But the Queen Sugar writers, and tell me in the chat, y'all, as a prediction, do you really think that Nova and Dr. Dubois have a real shot at a real relationship?
That's a good question, because I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
Like as good, as perfect as they will be for each other, as beautiful as they are together, I think that I don't think he's what Nova wants or what Nova is looking for. I think that it's good and he's a great guy and she's interested and attractive, but he's not it.
Why? Why is he not it? Why can't he be it?
It's not that he can't be it. It's just that he's not it.
But why?
Because Calvin gonna come back and get his girl.
Oh, God. Here we go with Calvin, y'all.
I mean, I want her to be with Dr. Dubois.
Okay.
We're just going to have to see next episode.
We'll have to see.
Because we got to go.
We got to go.
As always, guys, follow me on all social platforms at hey_it's_lay.
Yes! Oh my God, East Coast in the house.
Please don't do your hashtag magic.
Hashtag magic.
This episode should have just been called
Magic Stick.
Bree says they're gonna clash. Well, okay, I can't see everything that you're saying, but I'm here for them. But there we go.
I'm here for them, but their personalities are gonna clash.
And I agree.
There you go. Continue the conversation with us. I'm at all things at Selly Hangout. Hang out with us next week. Right here.
It was great
AFTERBUZZ
with
TV.
You guys. You guys are always popping.
Yes.
See you next week.
Bye. It's my G.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
From executive
Views
producers
expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Idris and Bourgeois are family by marriage.